two ways, well, actually three ways to go about getting charge-offs and collections removed. Stick around to the end because that third one is going to be highly beneficial for a great deal of you. And this video was inspired by one of the people who was watching our videos, and they put in a request and said, hey, can you do a video talking about charge-offs? So she asked, and we definitely wanted to deliver, and we're going to give you two supporting letters based on the ways that we say you can go about getting charge-offs and collections deleted. Stick around to the end. Go ahead and like it now. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification if you like getting free education on things that are related to credit and personal finances, and hopefully our channel puts more cash flow back into your pocket and helps you boost your score in the process. What up? You got Mr. Smith, 0.5 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and in this brief video I want to talk about how to go about removing charge-offs and collections. I want to give you three ways. It's 2.5. It's just more than one way to do the same thing. But how you go about getting those charge-offs and collections removed? Well, this is how you do it. Number one, you see, one of the ways is, and I'm thrown off because it's this square that's moving on my screen. I don't think you can see it, but I think I know what it is, and I don't like it being on the screen. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. So what you got to understand as it relates to a collection or a charge-off being on your report, what you have to understand is that all that means is that the person that you had an agreement with, the original creditor, whether that was a phone company, whether that was a auto company, a credit card, they no longer own that account. They've written it off. If it's a charge-off, they've written it off so that way on their books it looks like they took a loss, and you know they get a tax deduction for whatever the amount you owe. Now they have that loss on their records. And or they sold it to a collection agency whose goal is to collect whatever debt that you quote unquote owe, or at least a percentage of it, so that they're profitable based on how much they paid that creditor to take over that account. So by understanding that, there's a little bit of power in that, because the creditor who you initially had the agreement with no longer owns that account. So you want to go about getting it removed if it's necessary. And I will throw this disclaimer out there. Just because it can be removed don't mean it should be removed. Pay attention to how old that report or that account is. If it's amongst your oldest account, don't even worry about deleting it, because you lose some credit history if you delete that account. And if that account has some good positive payment history attached to it, you may not want to remove it as well. Now, the collection, you may want to go ahead and remove if that's on there, but the original account may be beneficial. So pay attention to those details as well before you just, go through deleting it. Now that you have that established, many times an old collection or a charge-off, in many cases, was associated with a totally different address or some different information. So one of the things you can do, the first thing you can do, is go about having the credit bureaus to update your personal information. Two ways to go about doing that, which is why I said three ways, but one way that you can go about it is mailing a letter. And I'll show you a letter that you can use to just have your personal information updated. That's number one. Number two, the second way you can go about doing it is by having a phone call. Instead of sending off the letter, you call each bureau, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. You say, hey, I want to get my information updated in the system with your current information, because if that account had an old address attached to it, now you're getting in position to heighten the chances of getting that thing deleted. Don't sleep on that. That's a powerful concept. But what I will point out, if you're going to go to the bureaus and have them to update your profile to have positive information so that you can easily get that item removed, you also want to make sure all of those other accounts that are reporting also have your current information, because you don't want to lose the good that you have with them, because now they no longer have your current information on their file. So, it's a double-edged sword. You got to make sure you have that balance to where all of the accounts that are reporting positive, they too need to have your updated information. So now everybody who's reporting positively on your account has the updated information. Now you can go about getting that item removed because you crossed out all the other things that you needed to do. So make sure you do that. Now, you can either do that through a letter or make the phone call and have the bureaus to do it, and just make sure everybody else has your current information. And now when you come with the letter to have them to verify the account, What are they going to verify it by? Because you don't have you no longer live at the address. Your information is updated. You no longer have some of the details that may have been reported inaccurate on your report in the first place. So it heightens the chances of you getting that deleted because you took that initial step. So that's a powerful piece. Now, those are the two ways to go about doing it. But the third one is going to benefit people who may have not even moved in a long time. So they have the same address and, you know, the name is spelled the same. They hadn't been married, things of that nature. So this is going to help a person who's been still living in the same address, but they still want to get those items removed. And this can help in other scenarios, but specifically charge-offs and collections. This could be very, very helpful. And I'll actually link below so how you can really get the guidance that goes along with it, because you want to know what you're doing when you do it. I will say this. Another way to do it is it operates similar to the other ones, but it keeps you from having to do that step if you don't want to. Basically, what you can do is do a freeze on the secondary or the third-party credit reporting agencies. You see, a lot of people know about Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, but did you know it's over 50 different credit reporting agencies that are storing your information and using it and sending it to the different credit bureaus to let them know what's going on your account. So the bureaus aren't always going directly to the creditor. They're going to the third-party company, these secondary credit reporting agencies reporting your information. Well, if you put a freeze on it, basically saying, hey, I didn't give y'all permission to report my information, and I want to put a freeze on you reporting my information, and you have every right to do that. It's legal. It's your information, and if you want to keep them from sharing your information, do it. So put a freeze on them, and it's a top 4 that you can put a freeze on that I recommend. But if you want to understand how to do it so you can go about doing it the right way, click the link below. It should be a link. It should say bit.ly/royalty credit. In that, you want to get access to our DIY credit system so you can understand how to go about doing it. But what that looks like is this. You put a freeze on it, on those top bureaus, and now when you go to mail the letter to the bureau to get them to verify this charge-off or this collection, and they try to go verify it with an entity that you didn't give permission to share your information with in the first place, now it's like, oh, they don't have the information, then they have to remove it because they can't verify it directly through a third party. They need to verify it through the initial creditor in the first place. So if they're not doing their part, then they need to go about removing it, and that's how you can go about getting some collections and charge-offs removed. So the power in there. Now, I told you I was going to give you 2 letters to support this whole process because you definitely want to understand how to go about updating your information if you do it via mail and the initial letter that you can send off. And I believe I've shared this initial letter before, but nonetheless, I'll share it again because I know it can still benefit you. Now, as it relates to updating information to make sure that the credit bureaus have the accurate information before you go through getting them to verify it, and you want to do this with the credit bureaus, and you want to make sure that you've done it so that all of the other companies that are reporting positive have your updated information. Mine looks like this based on the fact that I use a system that plugs in, all of the information for my clients. But basically, you have your name, address, date of birth, social security number. Really can just be the last 4 of your social. That'll be perfectly fine. And then the bureau address. So you'll do this letter times 3. You'll do one for Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Put the date, then say to whom it may concern. I'm writing to update/correct my personal information on file with your company. Please update my address to blank. Please update my name to blank. My only social security number ends in blank. My only incorrect date of birth is blank. My only employer is blank. And you can actually leave that off. If you don't want that to be on there, you can include it in this line and say, I do not wish to have any telephone numbers on my report. You can say, I do not wish to have any employers or telephone numbers on my report. So I would actually recommend doing that because that helps you in other areas. Then say, please remove all other addresses from off my report as they are not deliverable to me by the U.S. Post Office and they are not reportable as per FCRA since they are inaccurate. Then sincerely, and you'll just basically leave your name below. You don't even have to sign. You can just, type in your name below, and this will get them to update it inside their system. Why? Because they're not deliverable to you. So they're therefore inaccurate. So if they're inaccurate, then it has to be removed. Then what you want to do is follow up with this letter. And this letter is what you follow up with after you've updated your information or had your information updated with the bureaus. as well as the letter that you can follow up with if you do the freeze technique that allows you to protect your information from being shared. You can use this letter as well. And this is the round 1 dispute letter. And there's plenty of different ones out there. This is just one variation. So it's not to say it's a magic letter, but this is one variation. So this will have your name or your client's name. If you're doing this for a client, this will have your name, address, date of birth, last four of the social, the credit bureau that you're sending it to, the current date, same heading as the last. Then it says, recently I looked at a copy of my credit report and noticed several incorrect accounts. I feel that these accounts are adversely affecting my credit report and costing me thousands of dollars in interest every year. Here are the items that I want verified as accurate. So you put the list of the items that you want verified as accurate. So that'll be their collection, their charge off, other things as well. But specifically, since this video is about that, it'll be those things. Then you say also, the only name, address, social security number, and date of birth that should be reported on my credit profile are the ones listed below in the documents attached with this letter. Any and all others are inaccurate and or outdated and must be deleted immediately. Must be deleted immediately from my credit report. And I'll go ahead and correct that now because I know somebody else just correct it. My rights under the provisions of the Section 611 Fair Credit and Reporting Act of 1970 are clear. I demand these accounts be deleted from all current and future credit reports. So basically, you're telling them that you want this information updated like you did initially, but just a kind of reminder, or if you went through the credit freeze, this gives them the opportunity to do the same thing. Additionally, please send me the correct or the contact information of any individuals and or organizations you contacted so I can follow up with them on my own. Not with you, on my own. I believe that 30 days gives you reasonable time for you guys to investigate these items. So that's a powerful line. You want to dispute it. You want them to give you the information so you can contact them on your own, not them doing it, because now it gives them the ability to let you do it versus them orchestrate some stuff that might not be accurate still. I believe that under 611, it is plainly stated that a failure to investigate these items within 30 days gives a reason to immediately remove those items from the credit report. And boom, you put the rest of your information down below, and then you want to include a copy of your ID as well as a copy of or proof of your current address. So that could be a utility bill or anything showing that you live where you say you live. Now, I will say this. If your identification has one of those old addresses, then they can use and refer to that as an accurate address because it is listed in your attached document. So keep that in mind, and that's another reason why some people may favor doing the credit freeze, but both strategies can definitely work. If you would like our assistance in making that happen, then definitely you can reach out, click the link below, set up a free consultation, and if you would like to hire us to do the work on your behalf, we'll discuss the options, and we only want to serve you if we feel we can serve you. If not, then no big deal. We give a lot of free value that you can use and implement. But if you want us specifically to assist you in your credit restoration process, set up the consultation. We'll discuss your options, and you invest in yourself and get started from there. So hopefully this video helped you. Hopefully the queen who reached out and asked for us to do a video dealing with charge-offs is watching. If so, that's you. And if you have a specific scenario that you would like us to go over, or a credit letter that you would like us to reveal so you can get access to it and implement it in your practices or in your journey or in your client's journey, then feel free to comment below. We'll do a video and show you what we've been able to do to achieve some success and get some success for clients. And it's another thing that I meant to do at the beginning, but I'm going to go ahead and do it here. We do get items deleted. This is a client's report unto which we had 24 items deleted. This was back towards the mid/end of 2020, but their score, is growing still. Some work to be done. I think their score is approaching 700 now, depending on when this video is being recorded. But depending on when you're watching this video. But nonetheless, we've used different strategies to get items deleted, certain letters, certain things that we give away for free. We've actually done it, and this is a client example. I meant to share this at the beginning, but nonetheless, just understand the power and the ability to restore your credit. Even though you may have fell on hard times, it's not over until it's over, and it's not over until you quit. So understand that. So hopefully this video helps you. If you get some value from this, consider liking, subscribe, hitting that bell notification, and let us know if it worked for you. Give us some testimonies. And if you have actual questions or things you want us to cover in these videos, leave it below. We add it to one of our upcoming videos. That's all I got. Mr. Smith, 0.5 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, signing out.